Hi and welcome, I'm Melanie. The reason I'm making this video today is because I went out for a walk earlier and I'm very lucky to live in the area that I do. I live in a very rural area in a village, a few minutes from my front door from being able to walk over fields and through woodlands. And because it's very rural, there are, lots of birds of prey, especially red kites. And today when I was out for my walk, I happened to look up and I saw this red kite circling, most probably, looking for food. And in case you're wondering what on earth I'm talking about, please bear with me because hopefully as I go on, it will make more sense. So this bird was just circling, waiting to see signs of life before it swoops down. And it was circling for quite a while. And then all of a sudden, this bird just decided it had had enough and flew off somewhere else. And all this reminded me of how the divine feminine can keep going around in circles, just waiting for the divine masculine to appear, to show up, to get in contact. Just like the red kite was waiting for some signs of life. But instead of that bird waiting and hoping for signs of something appearing down there, it decided it had waited long enough and flew off. It was probably hungry and couldn't wait there forever, just on the off chance. It broke the cycle and flew off and focused its attention elsewhere. And all this reminded me of how the divine feminine can go round and around waiting and hoping for just something, just some sign from their divine masculine. How the divine feminine can spend so much time and energy with wondering where the divine masculine is, what they are doing, who they are with, when they are coming back. And of course, this gets them nowhere. And this is when the connection can become really toxic, because when this happens, it becomes frustrating. Not just because of the waiting, but if and when they do show up and they contact the divine feminine, it just ends up the same as it's done before, where the divine feminine will just be blocked or ghosted by the divine masculine after a while, and then they will run. It never goes any further, in as much as it never becomes what the divine feminine wants it to be. And if this is where you are on your journey, and if this is what is happening with your divine masculine, that you are waiting, hoping for some sign of them, to be contacted by them. And when there is some form of contact, it just ends up the same with you getting nowhere, leaving you with that overwhelming pain. And the longer it goes on, the more frustrating it becomes and the more tired and exhausted you become. It's because you have to break the cycle. Like the red kite, you have to decide you aren't going to waste any more of your time and energy. You have to decide you've had enough of going around in circles, looping again and again. You have to focus on you. You have to prioritize yourself. Yes, you have met someone you have the deepest connection with. Yes, you have never felt this before. Yes, you are yearning, longing and wanting to be with them, waiting for them. And yes, you may flip-flop from believing this person is your divine masculine to believing they're not and experiencing huge doubt. So there has to come a time when you ask yourself, do I want to be doing this for the rest of my life? Do I want to spend and waste my life pursuing and waiting for this person, my divine masculine, to show up and turn up for me? Do I want to stay in all this pain stuck? Because that is what will happen. If you don't decide to break free of going around in circles, you will stay stuck, looping, getting nowhere. Because if you are on this journey, then because you are one soul and you share an energy, all the time you stay where you are, hoping and waiting, you will stay looping and going around in circles. It's only by breaking the cycle that you start to progress. And yes, I understand that there is that push-pull dynamic going on, which you have to navigate. But this is all the more reason to focus on you Until you balance the energy, they are going to stay or keep running because you are in that unbalanced push energy. And you do that by making a decision to prioritize yourself, by start focusing and bringing your attention and energy back to you, by making those steps towards working on yourself. But also, while I was standing there watching this beautiful red kite, there was something else that was highlighted to me. With birds, when they are flying, they can see everything from a higher perspective. Up there, they can get a clearer picture of what is going on because they are way up high. They are not just seeing things from a limited perspective on the ground. So, they can tell if they're wasting their time where they are. It gives them an advantage. And so they can decide to fly off, breaking the cycle of just waiting for something to show, because they know sooner or later that they will get tired and exhausted just circling. So they have to be wise and know when to break the cycle and stop waiting, fly off and focus on somewhere else, that there is something better over there. So, they go off, they don't waste their time and energy. And this higher perspective is what can help the divine feminine, because when you meet your divine masculine, you're not able to see things from a higher perspective, as you will be operating from the mind and ego, which is very limited and fear-based. You are not getting the bigger picture, and you are in fear about losing your divine masculine. It's like if that same bird was on the ground looking for food, it wouldn't be able to get as good of a view of everything. It wouldn't be able to see the bigger picture, which is what is happening when you are seeing things from a limited point of view from the mind and ego. Much better to look at the connection with your divine masculine from a higher perspective, or stand back to see more clearly, to see what this connection and journey is really all about. To recognize that it's far more than anything to do with what's going on in the 3D with your divine masculine. As the divine feminine, standing back and seeing things from a higher perspective means you are not limiting yourself to just believing that you don't have a choice, but to just keep looping and chasing and feeling the victim that you have to wait. This connection and journey isn't about you being in any pain and suffering, but it will feel like that all the time you are seeing this connection with your divine masculine from the limited viewpoint of the mind and ego. You need to rise above the mind and ego, so to speak, stand back and look beyond to see the bigger picture. And the way to do this and see this connection from a higher perspective is to connect with your soul. This is where the truth lies. This is where you'll find the answers. This is where you'll find the strength, the clarity, the wisdom, the peace, and the love and fulfillment. All of that doesn't lie outside of yourself. It's within you. When you decide to prioritize you by not focusing on your divine masculine, concerning yourself with them and their lives, you make that decision of breaking the cycle of looping, focusing on you, connecting with your soul and seeing everything from a higher or different perspective, looking beyond. You will see there are limitless possibilities and opportunities for you to grow and become all that you are meant to be. This is what this connection is with your divine masculine, and that is what the journey is showing you, because you are a limitless and powerful being, and taking those steps towards aligning with your soul will free you of this pain. One of the first steps is realizing you don't have to stay stuck. You have a choice to break free of going around in circles. By connecting with your soul, you will start to see this connection and journey from a higher or different perspective. I hope this made some sense to you, like it did to me when I saw this red kite circling with its higher perspective. Anyway, that is all for me today. Thank you so much for watching. Much love and blessed be.